Okay guys, so here's the video on how to tape your dog's ears properly. We use Torbot glue. You can order on Amazon. We use medical tape. You can also order this on Amazon as well. We're going to use Q-tips. And then we're going to use moleskin padding. Can you grab the scissors behind you? And then what we're going to do first is we're going to take the moleskin, and it looks like this. It's sticky on the back. And we're going to hold it up to her ear. And we're going to see how her ear is. And then you can either trace behind her ear with a pin, or you can just go ahead and gently cut around the ear. And then I kind of know how to go down from here. And then you're going to have this, and we're probably going to trim it a little bit so it's a little bit smaller because her ear isn't really that big, but we're going to look and see where we're at. So that fits there. We just need to cut it off at the bottom and make it a little smaller. So we're going to go in a little bit, and then we're going to cut the bottom off a decent amount and check it again and see if it fits good. Okay, so that fits perfectly. So you want it to be all the way to the edge of the ear, and you want it so they can still hear. And that's a perfect cutout of her entire ear. You want to build this base. And if you look at Millie, her ears are bending. She's not holding her ears forward right now, but typically they're bending. They're not standing. And so she needs a little bit of help. And we don't want her ears to be out like this, guys. We want them to be up and erect. So that's what we're going to help her with. So we're going to take this piece, and I'm just going to put it on this one, and I'm just going to go ahead and trace this one, and we'll make sure it fits perfectly after we do the first ear. Okay, so we're going to take the backing off the moleskin, and it's a little hard with fake nails, but okay, now we got the back off. So this is what the moleskin looks like. It's sticky. And we're going to set that down flat. And then we're going to cut the tips off of the Q-tip. And then what we're going to do is we're going to stick it in the middle, but we want it kind of towards the top, like that. So we have our moleskin and our Q-tip like that. And then we're going to take our Torbot glue. We're going to open this up, and this is what it looks like. Oops, got a little, okay, on the floor, but that's okay. So we only need a little bit, and this is what the Torbot glue looks like. Okay, so if you can bring the camera in a little closer so they can see. We're going to take the Torbot glue, and we're going to go over the ear. We're going to need a little bit more. And we're going to do it kind of all over, just so she has a good layer like that. And then we're gonna wave it a little bit so it can dry a little bit, and you can see there's just a thin layer on there. And then we're gonna take our piece of moleskin, and we're gonna push it down in there really good, and we're gonna compress it. Push against it because you want it to stick really well on all sides. And you want to make sure it's not bent at all. You want it to be the exact size of the ear. Okay, and then we're going to take the other piece and make sure that it fits perfectly. And that one does fit good. So that's a good piece. We don't need to really trim that one. So we're going to take this other moleskin, take the backing off, again like that, and then we're going to set the moleskin down, and we're going to cut the tips off, again, and then we're going to stick our Q-tip pretty close up to the top, right in the middle like that. We're going to set that down, And then we're gonna get our Torbot glue again. And we're gonna do the same thing with the other side. So we got a little bit of Torbot glue on here, like about that. And then we're gonna paint the inside of her ear. And she's already had it on here before. We did one ear. She had a little scab on her other ear. So if you saw a little blood on my hand, it was just from the scab from the back of the ear. But we haven't been able to tape both of her ears before. We've only been able to do one. So she's getting the full treatment this time. So we got it like that. The glue's all in there. And we're gonna just let it dry for a second. And then we're gonna take our piece of moleskin like that. And we're gonna fit it in there perfectly. And we're gonna move it over just a little bit and make sure it sticks to the bottom. So you guys, the inside of the ear, she should still be able to hear and everything. That shouldn't affect it. But make sure you rub those edges really good so it's really stuck in there. And especially at the top, because that's where it tends to peel the most. You can even bend the ear while you do it to just rub it together. But that's what her ears look like now. So we got those up like that. We're just gonna go over it again to make sure they're stuck in really good. And if yours are popping up a little bit, you can add a little bit more Torbot glue underneath on the sides. But typically it'll stay pretty well like that. And then we're gonna take our medical tape and we're gonna build our bridge or our brace, however you wanna put it. And we're gonna take a piece like this long, doesn't really matter how long. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna start at the bottom and we're gonna leave a little extra so we can wrap it around her ear. Make sure the ear is not bent. And by bent, I mean around the edge. You don't want this part to be bent. So we're gonna take it like that. And we're gonna take her other ear and we're gonna bring it forward just a little bit. So it's like that. And then we're gonna go around the back. Make sure it's not bent right here. You don't want it to be bent in. Make sure it's perfect like that. And you're gonna stick it to the middle like that. Kind of like a brace. And you want this to be even with her face so the ears are nice and erect. And that's just one layer of it. We're gonna do some more on the bridge to hold it really in place. So we're gonna get another piece of tape. And this time we're gonna start over here on the front. And we're gonna wrap it around the back. Again, make sure this isn't bent right here. And you can see from the back view, we're sticking it all the way across. And we're going over here. And then we're gonna make sure that ear is not bent right there. And we're gonna go forward and we're gonna squeeze these pieces of tape together so it holds. We're gonna do one more piece on the bridge just to really hold it in place. Her ears are a little heavy, which is why they're drooping a lot. So we really want it to get stuck. So we're gonna do another one. And none of this tape or anything is gonna irritate her ears at all. It just makes them a little crusty. Leave this on until it comes off. You can redo the brace if you need to. But the Torbot glue and the moleskin, you're gonna leave those on the ears until this peels off on its own. But you wanna make sure it's nice and tight. You can stick it around. You can make sure it's in the ear good and it's not bending at all. But that's how she looks. And she'll stay like this for probably a week, if not longer. The bridge sometimes comes off when they're playing hard. If it does, you can redo the bridge. But again, don't peel this moleskin off. Leave this on until it starts peeling off. You can give them 24 hours or 48 hours in between to let their ears air out and then retape again as needed. Sometimes it takes one taping, sometimes it takes several, but add a little bit of Oracal in their food to make sure, you know, they're getting the added calcium. Sometimes calcium doesn't just make their ears stand up on their own and they need this. But let me show you so you can see how it looks. And then the front, see, it's not bent right here. It goes straight across and her ears are up. And you want it framed out with her face on each side, just like that, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to message me and ask me, but I hope this video helps y'all. You can use it on any dog that you want their ears to stand. As I would start it as early as about 8 weeks. if they're not standing on their own. If you don't want to use this method, don't, but if you do, definitely give it a try. I've had great success with it, and I wish you all the best.